Hello and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for everyone who tuned into the last video. I know it was a workout one, but all the same, commenting, liking, that goes such a long way to helping me build up my audience here. Either if you're watching on Instagram, Facebook or YouTube, it helps everywhere. So before we get started, I'd like to ask everyone if you could take a moment to go to my YouTube channel, and I will either have a link in my bio on Instagram or on Facebook. It will just be a click through. But if you could take a moment to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm very close to hitting 100 subscribers, currently on 83 as of making this video, so if you could do that for me, that would be amazing. Okay, so this video is going to be basically about how my week has been so far, and the different stages of my week. So everything started pretty positive. Everything still is positive. It's just that later on in the week I got into a difficult mindset, and the mindset slowly started to take over my days. So I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday of that week just gone, I felt sore, tired, depressed, a little lost, and these are just things that are creeping into my day that I experienced all at once. And I put up a post on Instagram, basically just highlighting how I felt in that moment. But in the caption, I made sure to say that even though I felt all of these things, I still try to see a positive side to it. I still try to bring all of those bad elements, or things that you would consider bad, like pain, lost, fed up, and realize that I'm still here, still awake, still working, still creating videos, and still doing what I have to do. So this week's video, I want to talk about how you can change your mindset to use negative positively. So I think one of the terms that I used in my posts, or one of the hashtags, was reverse engineering your mindset. What do I mean by that? It's not a term that I read anywhere. It's a hashtag that I came up with on the spot. But I have used that term before, just in my day-to-day, when you feel depressed, or you feel in pain, or you feel lost. These are the negatives in mindset. So if you wake up with these negatives, you tend to bring these negatives into your day. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't feel that way. Of course, if you feel that way, that's totally fine. Everyone feels down, and everyone feels pretty much bottomed out at this point. But you can bring those into your day, those negatives in your mindset. But what you can do to reverse engineer that is that you can say, sure, I'm in pain, depressed, feeling a bit lost, but there are things that I can do to improve those situations. So for me, the moment that I wake up, if I'm feeling sore, I know that probably my body's a bit dehydrated, right? Like, we all wake up and you do the stretch, and then you feel, oh my god, my shoulder, or my back, my legs. For me, it was my hamstrings this week, just giving me a lot of trouble. But I knew I was dehydrated, so the first thing I did was grab my big bottle of water, and I said, okay, I'm in pain, so my body needs more water to start to heal. So getting my water was the first positive thing that I did to change something that was negative. Now, obviously, pain is the one thing that we can probably feel immediately. Pain is a current thing. You can either feel it in the exact spot that's sore, or in pain, and you can say, ow, my leg is sore, right? As basic as that. So I knew, okay, I'll get my water in. That'll help my body. After waking up, or after sleeping for so long, my body just needs water. But then the second stage, I felt a little bit, I was like, okay, feel a little lost here. Woke up and my sleep wasn't the worst. like got 8 hours sleep. I got 8 hours sleep. But I felt a little bit lost, as if, okay, I don't feel the most motivated, so, this is going to be a harder day because now my hamstring's sore and I feel a little bit lost and tired. So that's 3 things together. And like, these things tend to snowball, right? So if you're not feeling your best to start with, you tend to take a bit of a dive. So, right, feeling a little bit lost. What can I do? So my usual routine is wake up, do a little bit of stretching, which I couldn't really do because of my hamstrings, but I did a little bit of upper body. Feeling a little lost. Okay. So, taking that negative in my mindset, I said, I need to find a positive to turn it around. I went downstairs. I had my water, so I felt good. I opened the back door. It was a really nice morning, actually. So I sat out there. I had made a pot of coffee, and I took a second to sit in the... Well, it wasn't the warmest, but it woke me up. And sure, I felt lost, but I also felt that the day is around me. I have my home. I have my coffee. I am maybe feeling a little bit lost, but I'm not lost. I'm at home. So it grounded me. It brought me back to earth and made me realize that, okay, sure, sore hamstrings. Can't do anything about that other than rest. Take a bit of water. Make sure you stretch a little bit and don't overdo it. Felt a little bit lost. Right, got up, got dressed, had a bit of purpose, went downstairs, made my coffee, and instead of going straight back upstairs to work, I stood outside for a few minutes and just realized that the feeling of lost is internal, but externally, I'm not. Just a side note too, it is about to rain, so like my whole background got really dark. Now, my next point. When I was outside, right, and I had sore hamstrings, I felt a little bit lost. There was another feeling that crept up, and it crept up pretty fast. It was that kind of, you're going to work every day, Kyle. You're making money, but you're stuck in your home after, or you're working out. Like, as good as those things sound right on the spot, that I have those things, I still felt a little bit worthless. Now, where is your worth other than your job or your life? Your worth's in yourself, right? So, feeling a bit worthless, what was I to do with that? I already had sore hamstrings and I drank my water. I already felt a little bit lost. So I went outside and realized that my home is right behind me. I have my coffee in my hand and I am not lost, just a little internally. But the worthless feeling, that derives from, because when you work, you make money, and the purpose to money is obviously to spend money. As kind of depressing as that is, that's what we do. It's the turn of life, right? So over the last little while, I have been creating these little like saving goals. Now, obviously, privileged position to be able to save during these times. Have my car, have everything else. Privileged position, okay? I acknowledge that. Not everyone is in the position to save. But for me, to feel less worthless, rather than spending money all the time, I have a goal or something that I really want. Like this camera, for example. I saved, I think, 9 months for this camera. Now, I could have bought it straight away from money that I probably didn't have. But instead of doing that, and that gives you like a euphoria within that moment, I saved for it, which gives you a lot more of a long-term gratification. So, that feeling of long-term gratification is so much better. So I did feel worthless for a second, and I said, actually, Kyle, you know what? You have a goal here. I set up a Revolut, because it's easier to pay bills and stuff with my housemates. But within that, I actually just throw some money in there every now and then, and I really want to start stand-up paddleboarding or supping in the summer when we can finally get out. Okay, so obviously that's a monetary thing that I'm doing to feel less worthless, which isn't necessarily a positive way of re-engineering a bad mindset, okay, because it's monetary. And I think there's failure in just putting your worth in money, but my worth is actually in the activity itself. So the more I think about how close I am to buying my paddleboard in this instance, the happier I feel, because I can finally start to think of plans. Like in May is when I plan to buy it, okay? Hopefully when I do buy it, I'll show you guys. But that worthless feeling, okay, that was brought on by the fact that my goals aren't long term anymore. There's no what can we do in the future, like travel and whatnot. They're gone, because we hardly know what next week is, next month, next 2 months. So I set that goal for my paddleboard. I'll probably about 3 or 4 months back at this point. So when I did feel that little bit of, I have no worth, like I'm making money, but what's it doing? So when I had that feeling of worthlessness, it was the fact that I had set that, savings goal for my paddleboard that pulled me through. And it's been pulling me through. Now, I know a lot of people aren't in that situation to save, and if you're not, that worthless feeling can be eradicated doing something that's for other people. So if you're not saving for yourself, you could, for example, do a spring clean, or you could clean out your wardrobe and take all of those old clothes that have been sitting there for years and give them to charity. Yeah, it's a now feeling, but it also cleans out your space. It gives back, and it's a feeling of worth that you had something there that wasn't necessarily doing you any good, but it'll do someone else good, now. And you can take that feeling with you in the days where you're feeling worthless and be like, oh, I remember I give my stuff away and I know it's doing good. Okay, so where am I getting with this? How can I conclude what I'm telling you? So right now, all of those feelings can be categorized in one word, and that's depression. Depression is a collective of many things that are poorly in your head currently. So, for example, pain, worthless, feeling lost. These are all things that sit in that big, scary category of depression. Now, when I was at my worst and I was sitting in my room during college or in the early days of working professionally, I just saw it as I am depressed, and I could not escape that feeling at all, because I saw it as one problem, where it is a collective of many small problems creating that feeling that you are stuck in your depression. Now, this word depression is such an individual feeling that I can't tell you that by doing the things that I am doing is going to help you. But I can tell you that the things that I did within my poor mindset to, using this term, reverse engineer my poor mindset to create positives, it helped me lift myself out of depression. Now, I live with it every single day, and in the day that I explained in this post, I lived with it all at once again. But you know what the really satisfying and beautiful thing that happened was? I was smiling. I was smiling when I went back to my room, and when I took this picture, I was smiling. So even in all of those bad mindset feelings, the things that drag everybody down, I was still good. I was still okay. I was still happy, and I was here. So if there's one thing you can get from this video, and if there's one thing I want you to try, is that sure, we're allowed to say depression as how we are feeling, but ask yourself, what are the small things that create your depression? What one thing can you do right now after this video, or in the morning, or tonight? What can you do, that first thing, to change your mindset from seeing, okay, I'm negative right now in this one moment? If it's pain, if it's not sleeping, if it's negative thoughts, is there something you can do right now after watching this? And start with one thing, and even start with a half a thing. Or if it's simply just getting up and standing in your backyard and realizing that that's your space, feeling less lost. Or finally going to the doctor about a pain that you have, or speaking to someone. Please take that from this video. And if you are this far and you're watching on YouTube, or you know someone who's going through similar things and you are that person that helps them, but you don't have that experience to describe how to describe to them how to get out, send them this. I'm grateful of everyone that tunes in and makes it this far. It makes it so much easier to click record. And even in the beginning, if I'm very matter of fact, I'm reading bullet points, but as the video goes on, I stop looking at them and I just speak from here, from where it matters. So help me reach my 100 subscriber goal. I can never say subscriber when I want to say subscriber. But if you can help me, and you're on YouTube right now, or you're on Instagram, go to my bio, click on the link, it'll bring you to my YouTube channel. Or if you're on Facebook watching this, just click on the video and you'll be on my page. Click subscribe there. It would mean so much to me to hit that 100 subscribers, even before the end of March. If not, I don't care. But the more people who are here absorbing my content, commenting, liking, and even sharing with your friends, that just makes this so much more than just me talking to myself. So until the next one, guys, good luck. Hey.